Alright people, this is just a quick episode of Velocity Kinetics. There's another one on the way, looking at the impacts of what COVID-19 is happening on F1 at the moment. I'm sort of in between jobs at the moment, got a lot of things to do. You can probably hear my washing machine going, cooker going, and a tumble dryer on the go. So I do apologise about the way this one is being done. Big one for me. Now I was going to, it's being touched on in the financial implications of COVID in F1, but it's quite a big story in my opinion. It's not really been dealt with in a big enough way. Williams have had to do a monster refinance with a consortium through HSBC that's effectively secured £50 million worth of debt against bits of the team. I'm going to give a quick financial lesson here to people. Some people may not be very clued up on this, or may not be old enough to need to be clued up on this. But when you're securing a debt against them, that basically means if you can't make the payments, that takes it away. So for instance, when you have a mortgage, it's secured against the value of the house. So if you can't pay your mortgage, they will then take the house away. Likewise with car finance. Car finance is secured against the vehicle itself, so if you can't pay, they take it away. That's essentially what it is. It's effectively what they call collateral. Done as part of this, they put up bits of the heritage collection to secure the debt against. It reminds me of that scene from The Aviator where he's desperate to get the Hercules to fly. I think is it the Hercules? I can't remember. The seaplane, the big seaplane at the end of the film. He's desperate to get that flying, and he says, "We'll put up everything, put up the desks, the staplers, the planes, everything." And it's essentially what Williams have done. Now I know. Wankers. Anyway, and the speaker I'm using is just about to die. Excellent. 2 seconds. That needs to go on charge later. Anyway, so what does this mean for Williams? Well, it means things are... We all knew it was bad at Williams. We were under no illusions. We're under no illusions that Williams are doing well. I mean, whilst they've had that money from Stroll that helped them, then the money from Sirotkin, although there are rumours around the fact that because it's Russian money and the fact that there's sanctions against Russia at the moment, you can't necessarily get the money out of Russia to use it. And you've got Latifi in saving the money. Brussels brought sponsors in. Kubica brought in PPK Orlen, or PK Orlen, which one? They brought in Orlen last year, and we knew Maldonado brought in money with PDVSA, that's the Venezuelan oil company. You had Bruno Senna come in with his sponsorship package with Embratel, Gillette, and the like. You had Bottas with Kempe coming in as well. It has been a revolving door of pay drivers. Now, just how bad is it at Williams? I'm quite concerned at the moment that they're about to shutter, and COVID-19 is going to be the reason. Not because Sir Frank is ill with it or anything. As far as I'm aware from what they post on social media, he's okay. He's with his carers, and everything seems to be all good. But at the same time, we're not entirely sure as to how good is good. Just because Williams say they're doing good doesn't mean that they actually are. Now, whether you like Claire Williams or not, whether you think she's the fault of what's going on or not, it doesn't alter the fact that there's not a lot going right with that team at the moment. This delay is only going to make things worse for them, as in the delay with the season starting, as it will do for all F1 teams, but it's going to hit them the most. At the moment they're sort of floundering a little bit like Tyrrell did before it became BAR. Now, I'm not saying that Williams are going to hang up shop and sell up shop and that'll be the end of it, but they are dangerously close to having no option but to be something else. The team functions 2 race and does only that 2 race. They haven't really got any other divisions that they can run. They did have advanced engineering, but they've sold their primary stake in that. So this is quite concerning. It's not like they've pawnbroked the cars, the things like the buildings that they're in, or the taking the cars to pawnbrokers, because it's not anything quite like that. And you know, I guess in many ways there's no difference you do if, in your personal life, getting a 0% balance transfer credit card to alleviate some pressure there, or getting a debt consolidation loan, or anything along those lines. So in many ways it might offer more favourable terms of repayment for Williams and might help them go forwards. For example, there are some occasions where, for instance, if you're going to replace your car, you might be able to replace it on better financial terms. For instance, when I went from my 17 plate Baleno to this 68 plate, I went from having a £7,000 final payment to a £3,000 final payment when the agreement finishes, and my interest rate's gone a little bit down, and my monthly payments have also gone down, and the mileage agreement went up. So you can refinance and make it better for yourself. It's not something in your personal life, it's something you need to undertake with great care and not do half-assed, in a half-assed manner, or half-heartedly, whichever way you want to look at it. You've got to do it fully thinking it all through. It's why a lot of banks won't give you the necessary advice anymore, because you have to make the decision. I only hope this pans out for Williams. I don't really want to see things like the FW08 and FW34 and Red 5, I think it's FW14B, I think it is. Don't want to see them, or FW16, FW18. Don't want to see them being retained by banks and sold off to private collectors when they're really part of that team's heritage. Granted, I know they sold off a lot of their stock to private people, but that's another thing altogether. So I really hope this isn't the beginning of the end for Williams. I've got a feeling, regardless of what was going on with COVID-19, whether we had it or not, they were going to have to refinance that money. It's just that this has been the moment that they've had to do it, and it's come a bad time when they've had to furlough a large number of their employees and make drivers take pay cuts and like. So who knows what this means for that little team, but can't help but wonder, will we have the famous W on the grid for much longer, the team that has now become synonymous with blue and white, now red with Rocket, but mostly blue and white, and championships for the likes of Hill and Mansell and Prost, or Alan Jones, Clay Regazzoni giving them their first victory, the infamous white and green Saudia Williams. I'm concerned that is going to be the end of the team. Who knows, but this refinance they've had to do, hopefully it means better terms for them, but we'll wait and see with bated breath as to what will happen next.